Hello fellow woodturners, and welcome once again to another episode of The Naked Turner. Today I'm going to be turning a piece of secondary wood, poplar, into a bowl just to show how sometimes even a nice piece of poplar or pine or things that you might not think are going to make such an interesting bowl could have a potential for creating something beautiful. So that's the direction I'm going to try to head in today, and hopefully I will get there. Always remember to read, understand, and follow all the safety for each tool that you're going to be using. Familiarize yourself with the machine or tool that you are using, because you definitely do not want to shorten your career as a turner by injuring yourself. So do your due diligence and understand all of the safety precautions that you should take for any tool, and always remember to wear safety goggles, or in this case, I was just at the bandsaw, so I had these on. Now, since I'm going to be doing some turning, I'm switching over to a face shield. So always remember to protect yourself. You definitely want to have a long and fruitful life doing what you're doing or what you enjoy doing, whether it be a hobby or a profession. Okay, so here's this billet of poplar that I just roughed into round, and it looks like it's running pretty true. So I'm going to start shaping the bottom of this piece, and then I will shape the sides, spin it, make my mortise, spin it around, and hollow out the inside. But first thing I want to do is I'm going to make myself a little foot platform to cover and protect my feet, because several of my viewers have mentioned that, so I'm going to create that now. Okay, so I have a piece of scrap plywood here, and I have some wedges. And what I'm doing, I'm putting these little wedges up under here. They'll have a little bit of a slant. So I'm poking the wedge through. There we go. Grab a screw. I already did the other side. And one more screw. And then I'm going to put some little block feet on the back edge of that in order to lift it up a little bit. And then what I'll be able to do is slide my feet in underneath here, and it'll protect my feet and toes. And thank you for my subscribers suggesting that I take care of my feet. It started me thinking about it, and I decided to come up with something a little bit like this. Alright, so here's what I ended up making. I put those wedges on that you saw, and then I put a little stop screw and a little piece of 2x2 that'll fold up like that, and that way I can pull these two legs out, set it down, and I can position it up under my lathe like that at an angle, so that if I'm turning here, my feet are protected. Or I can pull it out and put it straight if I'm turning a spindle, and it will protect my feet. As you can see, my feet are well tucked in underneath here, and anything that might hit there is going to roll down, including all the shavings. I have a fairly steep angle on it, so everything should just flow right down. It's 4 feet long, and I could make it a little bit shorter, but I kind of like it full length, and I can just tuck it in from end to end. And if at some point I need to modify it, I will, but this is a beginning. This is fully dry, kiln dried. It does have a little moisture content from being close to the Bay Area water, so but other than that, it's pretty dry. So we're going to start this up. I can see how true it is. Yeah, it's running really nice as far as the weight is concerned. And I'm turning this up to about 700, 800 RPM to start out with. Okay, so my card filled up. I had to switch cards, so I'm not sure exactly where I checked out on it, or where my card checked out on this, so I just wanted to make sure you understood. I had just turned this edge, and I was saying how Thank you to my subscribers who were concerned about my foot safety, because I'm really enjoying having the foot shield down here. All of the shavings are going away from my feet, so it's making a big difference. So I just wanted to say thanks. And now I'm getting ready to start turning this backside, so I'm going to change the camera angle a little bit. Alright, so there's a little different camera angle, shooting right over the top here, and hopefully I'll be able to see enough. Rubbing the bevel, initiating a cut, and now pulling through. Spot somewhere. There we go. Okay, that's pretty much gotten rid of all of it. I'm going to move my tool rest in and do a tiny bit of shear scraping to see if I can't get rid of some of the end grain here. Okay, sorry about that. My camera had swiveled on me and I didn't notice, but what I'm doing here is some high angle shear scraping, or not shear scraping, but cuts, high angle cuts here, trying to get rid of some of this end grain. And I increased my speed, and I'm just taking very small passes, or very light passes, I should say. And there we go. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, do a little bit of a curve. Something like that. Alright, so now I'm going to create the mortise for my scrolling jaw chuck. I'll make a mark here, showing me approximately the size I want to come out to. I'll be a little bit wider than that, but that's my initial starting point. And then I'll be coming in with some scrapers here. Round nose scraper first. Okay, so I'm using my new camera jig here, which gets you a complete overhead shot, and straight overhead and a little bit back on this, the working side of this item. And so now what I'm doing, I'm applying some finish, and I'm going to rub this finish in. This is really going to suck up finish because this wood is super dry. And poplar is not very oily. It's more just watery. But you can see how, even though that's true, And even though it's generally used as a paint grade and secondary lumber in construction of cabinetry and stuff like that, paint grade trims, it does have an inherent beauty to it with the greens and yellows and golden colors. So I'm going to bring some of that out right now with this finish, and I'm just kind of right now doing a sanding sealer application, almost slightly thinned down, and just kind of letting it soak into the end grain, especially because it's really sucking it up, as you can see. Okay, so that's that portion. Now I'll work my way around the bottom here, paying attention to the end grain on the bottom as well. And some more down here. The bottom of this is pretty plain. Otherwise I would spin it around and kind of show you the change taking place, but it's just kind of going from a white to a yellow. So I'm just going to concentrate on this edge right now. And down in the bottom of the bowl, in the mortise for my foot. Alright, so that's got a quick coat on it. And now what I'm going to do is turn on the speed and go relatively slow and just build up some more finish on that finish that I just put down. Okay, let's stop that and take a look at it. Okay, that's going to be real pretty, especially out in the sun. I can see where there's some fire in some of this grain here on the sides. It's going to be real pretty. Alright, so I'm going to let that soak in for a minute more. And put a little bit more on there as well. Nice and slow speed. And I'm just kind of using the rag as a dam. And then it'll build up against that dam and spread itself out. You can see it bubbling a little bit right here. Starting to get warmer. Alright, here I'm applying some friction rub finish and burnishing it in. Alright, I'm back with some 320, and I'm just gonna see if I can lay down some of that end grain and some of the raised wood pores. There we go, and now I'm going to run it in reverse briefly with just a very light sanding. Just to knock down those burrs. Oh yeah, much better. Now what I'm going to do is apply just a tiny bit more finish here. Alone. And now I'm going to turn it around and start working on the inside. Alright, so I have it flipped around here, and I'm getting ready to turn the inside of the bowl. I have my bowl gouge and turning down some here down to about 1,000 RPM, which is a little fast for this, but get here. A little bit. Here I'm surfacing the top or entrance to the bowl, bringing in my tailstock to provide a little bit of support, and now I'm starting to turn away material, trying to remove material relatively rapidly. Okay, so I'm just going to be taking some of this out. This is kind of in my way a little bit. I'm going to work around that for a little while. So as you can see, around trying to work my tailstock. I'm using my bottom feeder bowl gouge here to remove more material from the bottom of the bowl, as well as taking the time to get rid of the central column and removing all of that material relatively rapidly. The bottom feeder has a less severe angle, as well as not quite as swept back wings, so it makes it easier to rub the bevel throughout the entire side surface as well as bottom of the bowl, and thereby makes it a little safer and more easy to remove material rapidly. Okay, here we go. I'm switching over to my 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch heavy duty bowl scraper and squaring up the outer wall, as well as removing more material off the bottom of the bowl. Alright, now I'm checking the depth on my bowl, because oftentimes you get so carried away and you're having so much fun removing material, you forget to check the depth and you punch right through the bottom of your bowl. So I was just checking so that I knew exactly how much more I had to go to ensure that I wouldn't do that and I'd end up with a nice usable piece. I'm just taking some final finishing passes with a very sharp 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch heavy duty bowl scraper. I'm refining the outer edge and finishing up the bottom of the bowl. One final pass along the outer wall and a little final pass along the bottom, and I'm ready for sand. Before I sand, I'm going to use my Irish grind bowl gouge to do a little shear scraping. Here I am sanding the inside of the bowl with my power sander. Okay, the sanding's done, and I'm putting some finish on here. I'm building up some finish here and giving it a good friction rub. Oh yeah, much nicer. Pull this out of here, and I'll take some stills, but there it is, finished bowl.